What happens when two of Hollywood's most adored figures collide on live television in a way nobody expected? The Kelly Clarkson Show has always had a reputation for warmth and friendliness. But that day, everything changed, leaving the audience shocked. Producers were scrambling, and Jeff Goldblum actually walked off the set. This wasn't just a playful disagreement or a small misunderstanding. This was a full-blown confrontation that escalated rapidly. Security had to step in. Before we dive into exactly what happened, make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below sharing whose side you're on after hearing this story, because trust me, opinions are going to fly. The segment began like any other. Kelly welcomed Jeff onto the stage with her usual energy, and the audience erupted into applause. Jeff, with his iconic quirky charm, did a little dance as he approached, flashing his famous smile. Kelly greeted him with a hug, and they sat down. Everything seemed normal. Kelly started by asking Jeff about his latest project, a science documentary series he had been promoting. He began talking about the wonders of nature, going off on one of his classic tangents about the interconnectedness of life. The audience was hanging on every word. Kelly nodded along, smiling, clearly engaged. Then she shifted the tone. Kelly said, "Jeff, I have to ask something that's been on my mind. You've been in this business for decades, worked with incredible directors and amazing casts. But I've noticed something about your career. You seem to play a very particular kind of character. Do you ever worry about being typecast?" The question hung in the air. Jeff's smile faltered for a moment, then he regained it. He said, "Kelly, I think every actor brings something unique to a role. I've been lucky to work on projects that let me explore different sides of myself. Whether it's a mathematician, a scientist, or a chaotician, I find depth in each character." Kelly leaned in slightly, her tone still friendly but sharper than before. She said, "Sure, but isn't that kind of the point? You play the same person in different forms. The eccentric genius with that very specific Jeff Goldblum style. Don't you think audiences might be getting tired of that?" The audience grew quiet. You could feel the change in energy. Jeff's expression shifted. The playful sparkle in his eyes dimmed. He said, "I'm not sure I follow. Are you suggesting I'm not versatile?" Kelly shrugged, keeping her tone light but firm. "I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just asking. Look at someone like Daniel Day-Lewis or Meryl Streep. They completely disappear into their roles. With you, it's always Jeff Goldblum. Is that intentional, or just a limit of your range?" The audience gasped. A few laughed nervously, unsure if this was part of a joke. Jeff wasn't laughing. He said, "Wow. Okay. I didn't expect this to turn into a critique of my whole career, but here we are. Being recognizable isn't a flaw. People connect with what I do because it's authentic. It's me." Kelly nodded slowly, a small smirk playing on her lips. "Authentic, sure. But is it acting, or just being yourself on camera? If it's just that, couldn't anyone do it?" That was the point when things really started to unravel. Jeff's jaw tightened. Could anyone do it? Step into Jurassic Park and make Ian Malcolm iconic. Bring depth to films like The Fly or The Grand Budapest Hotel. This is incredibly reductive, Kelly. And frankly, it's beneath you. Kelly's expression hardened. The lightness was gone. "Beneath me, Jeff? I'm having a conversation. I'm asking questions people wonder about but are too polite to voice. You made a career out of being quirky, Jeff Goldblum. That's fine. But let's not pretend it's groundbreaking artistry." Jeff leaned forward, gesturing emphatically. "Unbelievable. You invite me on your show, and instead of a respectful chat, you ambush me with backhanded questions. What is this really about, Kelly?" Kelly stayed seated, unnervingly calm. "It's about having an honest discussion. You're a public figure. People critique your work. I'm just doing my job." Jeff shook his head. "That's not pushing, that's attacking. There's a difference between challenging and disrespecting. Right now, you're being disrespectful." Kelly's eyes narrowed. "Disrespectful? I've been professional." "If you can't handle a tough question, maybe the problem isn't me. Maybe it's that you're used to everyone fawning over you and can't handle criticism." The audience was silent. Jeff took a deep breath. "I've handled criticism all my life, from directors, actors, People who understand craft. What you're doing isn't constructive. It's mean-spirited. I don't understand why. Kelly leaned back, crossing her arms. Mean-spirited? Jeff, you're being dramatic. I asked if you worry about being typecast. That's a standard question. Your reaction is what made this uncomfortable. Jeff let out a short, bitter laugh. My reaction? You compared me to some of the greatest actors ever and suggested anyone could do what I do. How did you expect me to react? Smile while you tear down my career? Kelly said, I'm not tearing down anything. I'm discussing your work. If you're defensive, maybe there's truth to it you don't want to admit. Jeff's face flushed. I came here expecting a fun conversation. Instead, I'm interrogated about my validity as an actor by someone whose main claim to fame is winning a singing contest. The audience gasped. Kelly's face hardened. Excuse me? You heard me. Talk about range, artistry. Your entire show is built on being nice and relatable. But put someone in the hot seat, and this is what you do. This isn't journalism, Kelly. This is proving something. I don't know what, but I won't be your punching bag. Kelly stood, composure cracking. How dare you? How dare you diminish my accomplishments? I've worked hard to get here. I don't need to justify myself to you. Jeff stood too. And I don't need to justify myself, but here we are. You came at me with condescension, wrapped in fake curiosity, and now you're upset I push back. You can dish it out but can't take it. Kelly said, I asked legitimate questions. You attacked me personally. There's a difference. Jeff said, legitimate? You said anyone could do what I do, compared me unfavorably, questioned my talent, my range, my authenticity. That wasn't questioning. That was judgment meant to make me small. Don't act like you were just doing your job. Kelly's voice rose. Maybe you're sensitive because deep down, you know some truth in it. Maybe you worry you've coasted on the same shtick for decades. Jeff's eyes widened. I've worked on films grossing billions. I've worked with Spielberg, Anderson, Cronenberg. And you? You sing other people's songs and host a show where you play games and cry at feel-good stories. The audience was in shock. Some covered their mouths. Crew started moving closer, sensing the tension. Kelly's voice went cold. You are unbelievable. You disrespect me in my house, on my show. Hundreds of guests have sat here. Not one has spoken to me this way. Jeff said, maybe that's because you never provoked anyone the way you provoked me. You set a hostile tone. I just responded. Kelly said, I asked about your career. You couldn't handle it, so you lashed out. You insulted me and my career. That's classic deflection. Jeff said, deflection? You wanted to make me look bad from the start. That's what this was. What did I ever do to you? Kelly paused, anger and frustration showing. You don't get it. You float through life as a quirky genius. Some of us have to fight for everything. We still don't get the reverence you get for showing up as yourself. Jeff's expression shifted to confusion. Is that what this is? You think I haven't fought, been rejected, overlooked? I didn't let it make me bitter. Kelly's voice cracked. I'm not bitter. I'm tired. Tired of people like you acting above criticism. Tired of smiling and being nice while people like you get to be difficult and it's charming. Jeff said, people like me? You're generalizing my life based on perception. You don't know me. Kelly said, I know what I see. Someone who's given pass after pass, chance after chance, and doesn't recognize the privilege. Jeff said, privilege? I earned everything. You want to talk privilege? You won a singing competition. I worked in theater, small roles. Don't talk to me about privilege. Kelly flushed red. You can't help yourself. Every point I make, you insult. Tear me down to feel better. Jeff said, I'm defending myself against someone who attacked me under the guise of an interview. You started this. Own it. Kelly said, I asked a hard question. You fell apart. That's on you. Jeff laughed. No humor. Look around. Everyone can see. You're not a tough interviewer. You're someone projecting personal issues onto a guest, and it's ugly. Kelly's hands shook. Get out. Jeff said. What? Kelly said, get off my stage. This interview is over. Jeff paused, disbelief and disappointment on his face. "Fine, I'll leave. But everyone watching will see you couldn't handle a guest standing up for himself." Kelly called security. Two guards stepped forward. The audience was stunned. Jeff raised his hands. "I'm going. I'll show myself out." Kelly turned away, arms crossed, jaw set. Jeff walked towards the exit, paused, turned back. "Kelly, I came with respect. I admired your talent. But this was beneath you. You're better than this, or at least I thought you were." Kelly didn't respond. Jeff shook his head, continued walking. Guards escorted him. He paused again, facing the audience. "I apologize to all of you. You came for a fun show, and got this." "I'm sorry." Kelly spun sharply. "Don't play the hero. You insulted me and everything I've built." Jeff said, "I'm not playing. I acknowledge this is uncomfortable." "Can you?" Kelly said. "My part?" Asking a question. "Your part turned it into a circus." Jeff said. "Your question was loaded. You provoked me to get a reaction." "Congratulations, you did." An audience member stood. "You both need to breathe. This got out of hand." Jeff agreed. "You're right. I'm sorry you saw this." Another audience member said Kelly's first question sounded mean. She tensed. "Preparing these interviews is complex. Sometimes we ask challenging questions." Audience murmured. "There's challenging, then rude." "That was rude." Kelly looked around, thrown. Jeff said, "Your process humiliated a guest." Your audience noticed. Kelly said, "They don't know the context." Jeff said, "There was no prior conversation. I showed up and came on stage." "What context?" Kelly hesitated. "Forget it. Just leave." Jeff stepped back. "No. What context?" Kelly shook her head. "Nothing. Doesn't matter." Jeff pressed. "You implied something happened before filming that justified your behavior. What was it?" Kelly looked at the ground, audience, then producers. She seemed frozen. Jeff continued, "If I did something to upset you, I deserve to know. I came with good intentions." "What happened?" Kelly spoke quietly, defeated. "You don't remember, do you?" Jeff, "Remember what?" Kelly, 3 years ago, Golden Globes. I told you I loved Jurassic Park, how I was starting this show, and wanted you on as a guest. You looked through me, said something polite but dismissive, and walked away. You made me feel small." Jeff processed. "I meet hundreds of people. If I was dismissive, I'm sorry. But that doesn't justify ambushing me today." Kelly, "It's not just that moment. It's what it represented. People like me work twice as hard for half the recognition, and then people like you don't even notice. We're invisible." Jeff, "That's unfair. You're projecting a dynamic from one interaction." "I'm sorry if I hurt you, but it doesn't justify ambushing me." Kelly, "I didn't ambush. I asked a career question." Jeff, "Number. You asked a loaded question because of a 3-year resentment. You struck when you had all the power. That's what this was." Kelly wiped her eyes. "It wasn't that." Jeff, "Then what was it?" "Explain." "From my perspective, you used your platform to settle a personal score." Kelly, "You don't get it. You've never had to fight for respect the way some of us do. People see you as brilliant, quirky, and that's enough. But they see me as the girl from American Idol who got lucky. I fight to break out of that box." Jeff, "I haven't coasted. I've worked my whole life to get here. And so have you. You've built an incredible show, millions of fans. You've earned respect. But tearing others down doesn't build you up." Kelly, "I wasn't trying to tear you down." Jeff, "Then what?" The silence stretched. Kelly, "I don't know. I thought I was asking a tough question. Maybe I wanted you to feel what I felt 3 years ago." Jeff, "And now?" Kelly, "Terrible. I feel terrible." Jeff nodded. "Good. That means you're human." "I don't remember the Golden Globes moment the same, but I believe I hurt you." "I'm sorry. Today went too far." Kelly, "I let personal feelings cloud my judgment. I failed my guests and audience." Audience silent. Tension shifted from explosive to raw. Jeff, "Where do we go from here?" Kelly, "I asked you to leave. Security is right there." Jeff glanced at guards. "We could start over. Have the conversation we should have had." Kelly, uncertain, "After all that, you'd do that?" Jeff, If you are, no loaded questions. Honest conversation. Kelly gestured guards back. They hesitated, then stepped aside. She said, "Okay, let's try again." Jeff sat. Kelly sat. Audience watched, unsure. Kelly, Jeff, let me start over. Thank you for being here. I admire your work. I'm sorry for how I started. That wasn't fair. Jeff nodded. Thank you. I'm sorry for my words too. I was defensive. I shouldn't have said things to hurt you. Kelly, can I ask something? Genuinely? Do you struggle with being seen as the eccentric character instead of the full person? Jeff thought. Of course. Actors struggle. People form opinions based on a narrow view. Frustrating, but I can only control my work and integrity. Kelly, good answer. I struggle too. People see me as always happy, grateful. I am, but I'm complicated. I have bad days, doubts, moments I'm not proud of, like today. Jeff, we all deal with that. You should credit yourself. Hosting a successful show, connecting daily, making people laugh and feel seen. That's significant. Kelly's eyes welled. Thank you. That means a lot. I need to admit my perception of you was unfair. I let one moment define you. That was wrong. Jeff, we all hold on to things. They shape views, but we can let go. Today gives us that chance. Audience clapped tentatively, then more. Kelly, thanks for sticking with us. Real moments, even messy, have value. We're human. We make mistakes, must move forward. Jeff, absolutely. People need to see this. Reality isn't perfect. It's complicated, sometimes messy. What matters is how we handle it. Kelly, are we actually okay or just pretending? Jeff laughed. Somewhere in between. Not perfect. Still tension. But progress. Honesty. Trying. That's more than many do. Kelly, I accept that. Healthier than pretending. They shook hands. Genuine. Audience stood, applauded. Kelly to camera. Not the interview expected, but sometimes unexpected is needed. Thanks for watching, Jeff. Jeff, thanks for having me. Memorable. Kelly laughed. One way to put it. Cameras cut, but they remained, looking at each other, exhausted, relieved. What started as a normal interview turned explosive, then resolved. Jeff and Kelly went from friendly, to conflict, to understanding. Who was more at fault? Kelly's questions or Jeff's defensiveness? Did they handle resolution well, or just for the cameras? Subscribe for more stories, and comment your opinion. People will be divided,